By this point you can tell that I absolutely love the Ace Attorney franchise. So there has been some hiccups, but it either has been I love this game or I hate it. And yet, for some reason, Dual Destiny is complicated for me. Community-wise, this is probably the third most controversial game in the whole franchise, the first being Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney DLC, Rise of the Asses, and Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And as the old song goes, you either like it or you absolutely hate it. And to be fair, it makes sense as to why. As the game name suggests, Phoenix Wright is back to being a lawyer instead of, well, retiring. Why? Listen, I really wanted Apollo to take the spotlight and continue the legacy, but now he's the side character again because, well, this game is about Phoenix and another character. We'll talk about her soon. Anyway, it doesn't help that the main director of the game, Su Takumi, sorry if I butchered your name, was not part of the development of the game. It was the folks who made the side games like Miles Edward Ace Investigation that had to make the game, the main game, Dual Destiny. And in case you were wondering, Su Takumi was already in production for another game, Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So, the side game folks became the one who made the main game, and the main game became the guy who made the side game. What a timeline we live in. But that also brought a lot of modification things on the table. And some were... Let's start out with the Dual Destiny music, and obviously it's good. Duh. By this point, if you're an Ace Attorney fan, the music is good. Period. But this one is more special. See, back then, when in Ace Attorney Trilogy and Apollo Justice, they usually had to use chiptune music or synth instruments, mainly because of the Game Boy's limitations, the gore, and then it became a tradition to make that. You get the idea. But this one, they decided to do more live orchestras and live guitars and everything. They decided to not go for chips and synth, but orchestra and live instruments. And that is a very big risk when it comes to this franchise. Music is one of the biggest things in this game, to the point it can be considered a big spoiler if you hear them before you play the game. So to change it, it needs to be a really good job replacing it. And in my opinion, they didn't replace it. They just made a new one that sounds amazing. Just listen to Phoenix Wright objections. And do I even need to talk about the pursuit theme? was a risk, and a well-executed risk it was. I don't feel like it replaced any other older songs. Don't fix what's not broken after all. But it gives a new era to the franchise. To understand that while the old one sounds amazing, we can make the new ones sound as amazing. At least in my opinion. It also helps that now we have different objection teams for each of our lawyers, especially Apollo. I mean, he has a new objection team. And then we have a more calm version of it. I am so gonna get content ID'd by this, but you know what? It's gonna be worth it. What I really love about this is that they took a big risk and they did it. They didn't break anything, they didn't fix anything, they just made something completely else and it worked. And because there's no limitation of consoles or anything like that, they can bring more emotion to the game without using any words. I think, in my opinion, this is the best decision they have ever done for the Ace Attorney franchise. But then again, I'm a musician, so take what you will. But you know what else was a big decision? You've seen it, making the game go from 2D to 3D. Despite some hiccups, like Apollo's face at times, I like this. I never felt like this was a wrong move, rather a great stepping stone. And I can see they were learning to make the models better and better every time. And that also means that the investigation is now 3D. So now we can go underneath the table, we can go around the room, we can see the door, we can see the doors, we can see the entrance door. This is a miracle, this never happens, we can see the door. Speaking of things that blew my mind, this game is rated M for mature. Yeah, the only Phoenix Wright game in history to be rated higher than T for teens. That was a big news when it came out. When the news hit, everyone was like, what happened? Why is it rated M? What happened? Athena Cykes happened. I think now is a good time to talk about the main story. And it's... Phoenix Wright was tasked by someone to remove the dark age of law, because I'll get into that later, trademark, and brought a new female lawyer to the team, Athena Cykes. C is the second female lawyer we play as, first being Mia from Trials and Tribulations, and C is such a fun character. You see, she is what we call a genius. She skipped years ahead because she was just that smart. How smart? Yeah, she's only 18 years old. She has a law degree and is a full-fledged lawyer. In case you're wondering, it takes 4 to 5 years to learn law. Ever felt stupid? But what she makes up for her brain, she is lacking in one department: experience. Surprise, surprise, what you read in book isn't always the same as what you need to do in real life. And surprise, surprise, she has a lot to learn in experience. It's interesting to say the least, because now we have two rookie lawyers to play with, herself and Apollo. It helps that Apollo is more experienced than Athena, but they are still not as experienced as, well, Phoenix Wright. So seeing them struggle compared to Phoenix is a cool thing to see, not gonna lie. And credit where credit is due, Phoenix shows that he has more experience and help them when possible. So he's a mentor, which again is very interesting to see. Going back a bit, the reason why Phoenix brought Athena to the team is because Athena has special power, like Apollo and Phoenix. Her special ability is to read people's heart or hear people's heart. Or should I say more specifically, hear the tonality of their emotion. Whenever you're talking, she can tell how you sound like despite when you're trying to hide that. So she can tell if you're hiding something based on the sentence you just said and how your emotion portrayed. Phoenix brought her because he thinks she will help immensely to not only to her team, but to rescue from the dark age of law. But more specifically, that's the new minigame mechanic and I love it, but there isn't much of it. I forgot to mention, she also studied analytical psychology degree, which takes, from what I can tell, at least 5 years. Okay Google, how to smart. Also, in code, she uses a small device called Wizard, who helps with the emotion determination of witnesses, in this case, called a mood matrix. And it's up to you to determine what mood should be there, or is there a contradiction of the statement and the emotion they are feeling as the witness is telling their testimony. And sometimes, if the witness is feeling too much, this happens. Wow. I can go on and on about this, but to just summarize what this does, you have to point out what's overloading their emotion. You have to point out whether it's a human being or object. It's up to you to find that out. And I love this one so much, and it's things that we got it less than we wanted. I get why they did it, but it still stings.
But you still haven't told us why Athena is the reason the game is rated M for mature.
Well, one of the reasons is because of the animation cutscene. They actually started adding the animation cutscene, and I'm all for it. Makes the game more special, unique, you get the idea. But some of the Athena's cutscene is bloody, to say the least. No, I'm not kidding. One of the first cutscenes you see is young Athena surrounded with blood. Yikes. But the other reason is because of spoilers. But trust me when I say this, when you see it, you will know exactly why this game is rated M. This game has brought so many new elements and I love about it. And I haven't even talked about my favorite prosecutor in this entire franchise, which is, surprise surprise, also the main reason we are in the dark age of law. Meet Daddy. I mean Daddy. I mean Daddy. No, I mean Daddy. I'm sorry. I mean Daddy. No, I mean Dad. Prosecutor Blackfield. One of the, if not my favorite prosecutor in this franchise, period. What I really love about him is he's like the edgelord done right. He likes to bully everyone. He likes to bully the defense lawyer, obviously, because of the law, but everyone else as well. The judge, the witness, the police, everyone. And he still tries to be more reasonable. He doesn't do the BS things like, oh, I'm just hide the evidence for you. Look at this foreign evidence. Well, I mean, we still also give evidence that they didn't see, and he do, but that's besides the point. The thing is, he's like, I don't need BS powers to win against you. I am that good. I'm just gonna interrupt this video and just say, yeah, even I don't know why I made that weird face. Let's just move on. I can go on and on why I love this prosecutor so much, but we ain't here for a 1 hour video as to why I like Prosecutor Blackfield and is my favorite prosecutor. Unless you want me to make a video about it, In which case, please like and subscribe about it and comment about it. Anyways, I am derailing here. The reason why he's important is because he was the one that started the whole Dark Age of Law. See, he was charged and sentenced to jail for murder. Really? Look, I'm all up for the Dark Age of Law, but that triggered it? There's so many things that could have triggered it. False evidence, false witnesses, whatever. But that triggered it, and also spoiled the Phoenix Wright trilogy. We had 2 prosecutors arrested for murder and also a chief prosecutor arrested for murder before this, and that didn't trigger it. God! So with all that nonsense, Phoenix Wright was tasked to save the Dark Age of Law because of course he is, which he's brought a new lawyer to his team, and of course the new playable character Athena Cykes. And in case you forgot, C is the reason why the game is rated M for mature. Just me. And now we are in a dilemma. This game has blown my mind so many times, and I love how they present it with so many cool things. The music is always amazing. I don't even need to fandom about it because you already know what I will say from this series. The character looks great and has a promising start, and the new character and minigame is fun. And I still haven't talked about the thinking mode, but honestly, you should experience that yourself because I cannot do justice in this video as to why I love it. Maybe the next one, but not for this one. I love this game. But I also hate this game. With all the problems I've already mentioned, they failed to do the biggest thing of them all. The main reason why we play the game. The gameplay. I don't know what they were thinking when making the gameplay. Maybe the fact that this might be the first game consumers will play or something, because this game is easy. Too easy. I wish I was joking when I say this, but no. This game just hints every time, even though it ruins the experience so much. For example, you need to prove something and then suddenly flashback of when you got something. So you present the evidence of that flashback. It's so frustrating. They ruined the main core of the game. How could they do it? It's like you're watching a movie, that one movie you always wanted to watch, but Uncle Sam, that annoying Uncle Sam, is always hinting what's gonna happen 5 seconds before it happens because he just so happened to watch it yesterday. And I'm not even done. We have a new consult button where you can only use it once per course session because you have to use 3 out of 5 in one testimony only, by the way, in which case your assistant will show you which statement they think is wrong, which then you have to show the evidence where you think it's contradicting that statement. It is fine, it's helpful, but only once feels bleh, but whatever. Apollo is the side character of this game because we need to give more spotlight for Athena. For this, to the point, Apollo just yeets outside the main story. I am not kidding when I say that. Speaking of Apollo, his bracelet and Phoenix Magatama is a one-off thing. Instead of finding things out with it, it just feels like a one-off, which sucks. Detective Fulbright, while is a fun character and enjoyable to watch at the very least, is honestly, I prefer Emma Sky and Detective Gunzo over him anytime, but he's a fun character, he gets a pass, but still, I would prefer Gunzo to Emma Sky. The story is so dramatic. I mean, Phoenix Wright's story was already dramatic, but this just notches to 11 and not in a good way, and we don't have the jury system. I waited so long for that too. Look, I'm not gonna spoil Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, but at the end of the case, we experimented with a new system, the jury system, and it was gonna be a thing. We proved it was useful, whatever. And I was really excited for it. What kind of new gameplay are we looking for? Is it gonna be a whole separate thing, or are we gonna use it as we cross-examine someone? How fun will it be? Well, we don't know, cause it's not in Dual Destiny. There's a thing in the Ace Attorney community what I like to call is no past spoilers filter. Well, if you haven't played a past Ace Attorney game and decided to play a future Ace Attorney game, you're not gonna get spoiled because you just so happen to play in the future. Which is dumb because all in the community have just said, don't do that! Trust me when I say this. Play in order the game was published because the timeline is continuous and it makes no sense to play in any other orders. But this is one of the reasons why I think the jury system isn't in the game, because it was in Apollo Justice's last case, and that sucks. This term should have never existed because it makes no sense to even play in chronicle order. And yet, for me, if there was more things I didn't like about this game, it definitely would have been the worst Ace Attorney game for me. Yes, below Justice for All. But there's so many good things I like about this game as well. The 3D model, the investigation mode, the music, so many things. It's just that there's so many bad things, like the gameplay, the main core. It sometimes makes me wonder if I'm really playing an Ace Attorney game. In the DLC case, your client is a whale. You know what? Yeah, true. It's definitely an Ace Attorney game. Phoenix Wright Dual Destiny is okay. It's annoying yet amazing. Fun yet frustrating. Good yet bad. And while I hope to see more of the good sides of the game, I never want to see the bad side of this game anymore. I haven't even talked about things like little things like how you can instantly teleport instead of A, B, C, D, you can go to A to D, how you have a journal where you can remind it, but I am running out of time. This video is already long as it is because I have so much to talk about, and I'm gonna leave everything else in the next game. And boy, I am so excited to talk about the next game. So, next time in the Phoenix Wright Marathon, Phoenix Wright, Spears of Justice. Court is adjourned.